Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by Growing with God to watch another video. Today we're going to be talking about Demas, specifically answering the question, can we blame Demas for abandoning St. Paul? So just for a bit of context, if we look at Philemon chapter 1 verse 24, we will see where St. Paul mentioned that Demas was one of his fellow laborers and was always on his side. And then, all of a sudden, in 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 10, he said, "For Demas hath forsaken me, having loved this present world, and is departed unto Thessalonica, Crescens to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia." So many people read this and are usually, very quick to judge Demas for forsaking such a great apostle that we know St. Paul as today. But is this really just criticism? Can we really agree with these people? Well, I think we should look to the scriptures to find out. If we go back to 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 10, we'll notice that Demas forsook Paul because he, quote, loved this present world. However, the Bible tells us that this love that Demas had for this world is the exact kind of love that we should not have. I will quote 1 John chapter 2 verses 15 to 17 from the Living Bible to see what the Bible has to say on this. "Stop loving this evil world and all that it offers you, for when you love these things, you show that you do not really love God. For all these worldly things, these evil desires, the craze for sex, the ambition to buy everything that appeals to you, and the pride that comes from wealth and importance, these are not from God. They are from this evil world itself." So one of the Bible's main messages is that God's words are precious, as King Solomon said in Proverbs chapter 8, verses 10 and 11. He said here that wisdom is better than rubies and everything that could possibly be desired. So it doesn't make sense to just cast it all away for this world because we want the things that are in it. By the way, King Solomon said something that is very true, that this world will not satisfy us no matter how much things we have from it. In Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 10, he said here, "He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity." And Jesus also added in Mark chapter 8 verse 36, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" And the choice that Demas made in 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 10 is actually pretty similar to the choice that Esau made in Genesis chapter 25 verses 29 to 34 when he sold his whole birthright just for a bowl of food because, he was hungry, which might sound kind of like a dumb deal to accept, but as far as God is concerned, giving him up for just this world is just as senseless as selling your birthright for some food. But instead we should be like King Solomon, who said those wise words in Ecclesiastes, as in 1 Kings chapter 3 verses 3 to 15, he could have asked for anything, money, riches, power, whatever, but instead he asked for wisdom, so he can rule God's people in righteousness. Though Demas' choice for leaving Paul was also because of persecution, because if we read 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 23 to 28, we see how he was beaten with rods countless times and he would get in trouble everywhere he goes and so on. And Demas was, ashamed to associate himself with someone like this. It's just like how when Jesus Christ was being hung and people came to Peter and asked if he was connected with Christ in any way, Peter was scared to associate with him in Matthew chapter 27 verses 69 to 75 because deep within, he felt that someone who was really just before God shouldn't be facing this kind of trouble. So many people just drop out of the race of salvation because of the persecution that they see themselves face or others. And these were the kinds of situations Jesus Christ was addressing in the parable of the sower, as many Christians would fail when these persecutions come. It was said in Matthew chapter 13 verse 21, "Yet hath he not root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended." Just like what Demas might have faced, when persecution happens to a person, he's usually, excluded from society, and no one would want to associate with somebody like this. And since we are, a species that generally like to belong to others, this can be quite a huge problem. However, if they follow the tide, then things would be easier, and this is the choice that many make. So this is why Jesus Christ called the world the broad way in Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. However, what the Bible tells us is that we have to be strong and overcome these challenges, as we as Christians are trying to achieve a greater reward that isn't what this world can provide. It was said in Matthew chapter 5, verses 10 to 12, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." But anyway, I can stop here. If you have enjoyed this video, it would be great if you hit those like and subscribe buttons down below, and also to click that notification bell so you know when we post again. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.